All right. We are back with the Black and Blue podcast. My name is Travis, black belt under Drew Weatherhead. This is Emmett, blue belt under myself. And today we are on episode 11.
Episode 11, that's right. And today is breaking through plateaus. And might I start off by saying we've broken through some plateaus in our podcasting the last couple of weeks. Hopefully. Had some technical difficulties that we've been kind of trying to figure out, which is why we've been kind of off the air. But I think we're back. I think we're recording well, and we got our tech set up figured out. So here we go, episode 11.
We better have good video, good audio, good to go.
Good content.
And just a little side note on plateaus. We got a 2-stripe blue belt here.
Boom.
So watch your backs out there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be walking around pretty puffed up now. Yeah.
We joked about the Emmett show, but now
it's really good.
It's real.
No, I think it's that was why when I texted you about like, hey, let's do this episode today. That's why you were like, oh, that's a good episode to do today.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like, ooh, I think he's dropping a hint, but I also haven't seen you in like a full gi in a long time.
That's true.
It's been gi pants.
Gi pants. Yeah.
Yeah. You went Eddie Bravo style, and that's it. I was like, I don't promote without a belt. Sucks to be you.
A gi pants bikini top is what I've been rocking most of the time.
We'll post pictures somewhere.
But yeah, plateaus are real. They're a real thing.
And you find them at all levels. And like you hear about the blue belt blues, that's like a plateau kind of thing. You also hear about them all across. I personally have seen it the most at purple belt, like with my students at purple belt, because they get through white to blue. We have a curriculum. We have all these things like that I like to see people doing. You tend to be learning a lot more in that first period between white and blue. Then blue belt hits and you're like, oh, now what? Now I got this blue. Sometimes you feel imposter syndrome. But you hit a little plateau there where you're just like, oh, I can't believe I'm here. And I guess people that compete, they kind of move beyond that a little bit faster, it seems, just because they are against constantly evolving game plans and stuff.
Yeah.
But purple belt, I see it quite often there. And that's why you get like those 5 to 8 year purple belts, because they just kind of get stuck in the same thing. They don't really progress in their minds. Like they are getting really good at one certain thing usually. And another thing, at purple belt, you've gained all the confidence to get to a blue belt.
Right.
So then you start to relax your schedule. You go from like 3-4 days a week to like 1, maybe 2 days a week. And then like, you're like, oh, I'm not progressing. It's like, well, progression comes with dedication to what you're doing.
And what percentage of purple belts that you've seen kind of hit that that quicksand kind of thing?
So far, like everyone at the club.
Oh, really?
And the time period that they're there, like it always differs, but like you see some people. Jeff and Nino would be a really good. So 2 of my purple belts, one's very offensive minded and one's very defensive minded. So when they roll, one's very good at defense, but his offense isn't up to par or wasn't up to par like for a while.
Right.
Whereas the opposite was true, where the offense was higher, but the defense wasn't quite there.
Interesting.
And you just see that kind of just keep playing out. And then they start to roll with other people, or they start to teach.
Yeah.
And then that plateau kind of goes, and something sparks, or they figure out something new that intrigues them, and then they kind of push through. But so far, every purple belt that's been under me has hit some kind of plateau like that. And it just kind of moves on until they hit that little like aha moment kind of thing.
Yeah, those aha moments are real too. Like,
oh yeah.
It's interesting. We always talk about on the show, and I think we kind of talk about it in a joking way, but it is true that as a coach, you're highly invested, but also highly observant. And I think what's interesting is like the last, I feel like I hit a couple mini sort of like ahas over the last, call it like 6 months, but the last couple of weeks I've been feeling like, oh, like a few little explosions in my tiny pea brain, you know, and I'm like, oh man, yeah, I feel like I've kind of like made a little jump the last couple of weeks. Like when we were talking about half butterfly.
Yeah.
It just like, I don't know if I'll be able to express this, but it's like I started thinking of it not as a move, but like a doorway where it's like, you know, along the way that I've basically been working on half guard for like 10 months.
Yeah, for quite a while. And it has been progressing.
It's been progressing, but I've been thinking of it as like I'm working on half guard. But I think over the last, like, call it month or so, it's like, oh, I'm not working on half guard. I'm working on half guard as a doorway to other things.
Yeah.
And I think that's my aha moment, you know?
Yeah. And then going over just that half butterfly, because that entire class, everyone was just like, oh, so this is where I can just stay here and not move. And then like that push, pull, push and stuff like that with the legs.
Right.
You saw everyone go, oh, I can push people with the legs. It's like, well, that's what you should be doing with your legs. You should be doing the majority of the lifting with your legs, or the majority of moving someone. And then it did progress to, oh, I can move to here.
Yeah.
And then I saw it with you. You're just like, oh, this is where I can go off of this. This is where I can go off of this. And I was like, yeah, we can always play that.
Yeah.
It's just realizing that moment.
Yeah. And I think like a big part of that, and not to get too like into the weeds about a specific position, but like about moving yourself under the center of gravity of someone else as a pathway to the back, you know, to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And like that takes you out of this sort of like super like shoulder arm heavy like wrestling thing into, oh, now we're actually doing jiu-jitsu, because you're getting under there, you're going to the back. Like today I was watching, I don't know if you've seen that J-Rod versus Tynan Dalpra fight. It's like maybe 9 months ago, something like that.
Oh.
And it's just like that, you know, that guy Tynan Dalpra, right? And he's just like constantly doing that, like from half guard, going to the back, going to the legs.
Oh yeah.
Like those sort of like reversal things. And I feel like there's like a wall, you know, that once you realize that you got to break through that wall to try and get around, that was like, oh.
And getting your hips under their hips kind of thing. And it leads to like back takes, leg entanglements for me. Like that's where I go, because it makes people scramble, and I thrive in the scramble. It's just somewhere that like when chaos ensues, it's like, I love it. I'll be like, this is where my brain, like it does that whole like Quicksilver thing where the speedster superhero where everything kind of slows down and scrambles like that. I'm like, oh, like it's just like a release of like things. I'm just like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. You move as fast as you can, and I'm gonna be able to keep up, because it's like this is where I thrive. Yeah. Yeah. And I love that portion of it for me.
I mean, for anyone who's worried out there that like, wait a second, this doesn't sound like Travis, sounds like he was being nice. His comment in giving the stripe was actually, you guys are great members of the community. So he didn't ever say your jiu-jitsu is getting good. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Emmett still sucks at jiu-jitsu. We're good. But he is a good part of the community.
A good part of the solid part of the community. And a stand-up guy. So stand up and
sit down. Podcast guy.
Podcast guy. So I think like one thing about with regard to plateaus is thinking about it as in a way that progress isn't necessarily linear. You know, like you jump around, you pick certain things. Yeah. What are your thoughts on that?
100%. It's definitely not linear. It depends on what your goals are also. Like if your goal is to get like exceedingly good at, let's say, half butterfly, right? And you should work that, but you should look for these little aha moments. You should look for different moves. You shouldn't just be like, okay, well, I'm in half butterfly. I succeeded. Now I'm just going to stay here. Play around with it, fail with it, and have those little moments. Failure is a great way to move beyond or see little kinks in the armor of what you're playing around with.
Yeah.
I think another like linear scope is, say you got promoted with someone, like you got to blue belt at the same time as someone else. And then you like look across and you're like, damn, this guy's starting to wreck me every single roll. Right. And you're like,
yeah.
Uh-oh, what am I doing wrong? And then you get stuck in that like rut. Whereas you shouldn't be looking around and being like, oh, that guy's getting better than me.
Right.
You look at yourself and you go, what can I do better
Yeah.
here?
Yeah. Don't look around. Maybe look back.
Yeah.
You know, look back at yourself. What have you improved on? I mean, even from the sense of like not being hard on yourself, right? It's like reward yourself for the progress you are making, I guess.
Yeah. It's that 1% better every single day.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that keeps me driving forward, because being like the head coach and training, for me, I constantly go, you know what? I have to put myself in bad positions, because everyone that I roll with at the club is like, no, he's setting me up. This is a trap. This is a trap. And then they just stay where they're at. And I'm like, look, I'm going to give you guys looks and we're going to play around when you have my back and fully sunk in rear naked choke.
Yeah.
You might get the tap. I'm working on something. And that's kind of where I have to go. And the 1% better really drives my brain to go, yep, that's what I want to do. That's where I want to go. And I try to get 1% better, or have one little moment in the day or in the roll that goes, okay, I get that a little bit more. I understand that a little bit more.
Yeah.
So,
and I think, you know, we always talk about setting goals and setting long-term goals, setting short-term goals, but you can also set, you know, micro goals for each session, where it's like, today or in this role, I'm going to accomplish this. And I think for me, that usually winds up being less about like a specific move and more about like a tenet of like something, like a pillar of something.
Don't get tapped by Travis 15 times, get tapped by him 10 times.
That's a legit goal. You know, like if like make it through this role with whoever without only getting tapped once or not getting tapped.
It's actually a great goal, especially if you're aiming high. Like if you're rolling with higher level, or like someone that's prepping for a comp, and you're like, man, he is working hard for this comp. I know I'm going to get wrecked, but let's like get wrecked slightly less.
Totally. But like the thing about, you know, like pillars or tenets or whatever, where you know, you can try and work on, okay, today I'm going to work on just breathing, or I'm going to work on keeping my arms in, or I'm going to work on, you know, getting to my side when things start getting hectic, whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be, I'm working on an armbar today, or I'm working on a whatever. It can be something that getting an angle, you know, like not just getting flat on my back, you know, trying to get to an angle before I even think about a move.
Especially when you're just starting out, like that white belt phase there, these little micro goals during rolls, or when you go from like class into sparring, or however your club runs it, setting those little goals for yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be hyperventilating by the end of this roll. I'm going to learn to conserve my energy. I'm going to breathe. I'm going to be slightly on my side, slightly on my shoulder, so that they're not crushing me entirely, right? They're going to crush you, but not entirely. And these little micro goals also help you realize your way through these plateaus, right? So if you're setting micro, short-term, long-term goals, and you're keeping to them, your plateaus are going to be fewer. I can almost guarantee it. Because if you're just winging it and you're not setting goals, you're not doing any notes, you're not doing anything like that, you don't have anything to look at and go, what was I trying to accomplish? What am I trying to work on? What can I do better? You're just sitting there and you're just showing up. And sometimes just showing up is the goal. Sometimes I'm having a shitty day or a shitty week or whatever it is. And now you're like, okay, I'm going to make it to class 2 times a week. And that's, that can be your goal there. And then by that time, then you set your like micro goals and go, okay, I'm not going to die this role kind of thing.
Yeah. What's that like just with regard to, like continuing to show up, that expression of black belts or white belts that didn't quit or whatever,
just didn't quit, and skip blue belt because all blue belts quit.
I would love to really see some like hard data on
on what hours put into belts or on how many blue belts have quit.
I mean, I'm a data nerd to begin with. Like I love looking at data, but all that stuff, even like like what percentage of the world participates in jiu-jitsu, what percentage of those people get a blue belt.
Someone's actually done that.
Oh really?
I remember reading it, and it was like by the time you're a black belt, it's still like 0.0000. Like there's so many zeros percent of people are black belts in BJJ. So it's like a couple thousand. In what, 8 billion now?
You think there's only a couple thousand black belts?
No, there's probably more. There's probably quite a bit more, but like even if it's 10,000. Like
you think it's that low too? I'm guessing 100,000. Worldwide Brazilian Jiu Jitsu black belts? You think 100,000 is too high?
I'd say 100,000 is too high.
Okay.
I would go like tens of thousands.
Really?
Like it's not that big. Like I'd say, okay, let's look at Alberta. There's maybe 100, if that. Alberta's not that big, but still, there's not a ton of us out there.
100.
Okay, and I'm talking legit.
Right.
Like you got it. Like not that bullshit. And I don't think it's that high. And when you think like a billion, a billion is insane. Like I remember reading something that was like the difference between a million and a billion. Have you ever like?
I've seen like data graphic things about that.
It's like a million seconds is like 10 days or something like that.
And a billion is like 100 years or something.
It's like 30 years. I might have those two switched. Like it might be 30 days is a million. But 10 years as opposed to that is like a billion is so huge that we can't even comprehend it. We see it. We're like, oh yeah, it's a couple zeros. When you actually put it together, you're like, holy shit, that's huge. And like the percentage of black belts. Is so small.
We'll have to look into it.
We'll
do some data digging.
We'll come back with data, and like the data nerds out there will be like, that's off by 0.0001%. We'll get like yelled at.
I don't know. It would be really interesting to know that. So with regard to plateaus, I think again, we do talk about that a lot in the podcast, but the tracking habits thing and like journaling, I know you just mentioned that, like there's all kinds of ways you can do that. So you can kind of anchor yourself in time and be like, oh, even a month ago I was doing this, or I thought about it in this way. And now that I've had this realization about something, could be a small aha moment, a big aha moment, like you're able to kind of, catalog that.
It definitely helps you progress. It helps you understand where you're at. And all too often, like here we have a blue belt demo. So people are writing notes and stuff like that, getting prepped for their test or their demo or whatever from their white belt to blue belt. And they're writing notes. They're crazy about it. And then you see like right after that, they're like, oh, I'm done taking notes. And I think I do that.
all the time.
Everybody does it. And I mean, I think I was the odd one out because I've been taking notes all the time. And even what was it, Tuesday? Like yesterday, one of my students was looking at my notebook on the mats because I was taking notes again. And they're like, at black belt, you're still taking notes? I'm like, I take notes every day. I write down notes for every class, even if it's just jotted down bullet point a few. And then I'll go home and I'll write out more. I like every single day. And it's just, it's just something that I put into my brain because it keeps me accountable to myself and to my students and to the club and to building my game better so that I can teach it better, so that I'm not being that stagnant, this is how it was done 10 years ago, this is how it's going to always be done. It's like, no, the game's evolved. We need to evolve with it, or else our jiu-jitsu is just going to suck.
And, you bring up a great keyword there for me, which is accountability. Whether that's having a conversation with your coach and saying, hey, over the next 6 months, this is what I want to work on, or over the next few weeks, this is what I want to work on, or like having a training partner, someone that you were talking about that in class today with the white belts. Pick someone that you can train with for the blue belt test and hold yourselves accountable. Like Adam and I did that on our way to blue belt, and it was like, be here at 6 a.m. 3 days a week or whatever it was. Maybe it was 2 days a week, but but it was, and there was 6 feet of snow, and
and
we had to
uphill
walk 10
both
miles.
ways.
But allowing yourself to be held accountable in one way or another is really important.
Yeah, it's hard too. It's it at the beginning, it is hard to hold yourself to that accountability if you've never done it before. I find like with everything, it's like keep that streak going. I'm really like, I got into Duolingo.
Right.
Like, this is just a little side note, but I got into it.
It's a kind of dancing, right?
Yeah. La cucaracha. I don't know if that's...
I'm very into Duolingo.
Yeah. I know La cucaracha from like grade 3, like some school thing that I had to perform. I don't know why I still have that in my head.
Probably a trauma.
Yeah, probably. But like, it's this app, and like it gives you a streak, and then once that streak was broke, like once I broke it because I was on vacation and there's no Wi-Fi, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm done with that, and I just kind of stopped because I was like, done.
Yeah,
I'm the kind of guy that if I have that streak, I'm going to keep it going until, and then if it breaks, I'm like, okay, I'm done. And that's why I need to keep myself accountable, because
what
now
language were you learning?
Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Japanese and Hawaiian. Just because I love the sound of Hawaiian.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And then when we were there, I was getting called a Haoli. So like white guy or whatever. Like, it's one of those things I was just like, And then the coolest thing about it, little side story, but when I was there, I was training at North Shore Jiu Jitsu with Michael Fowler. Okay. And I got it like talking with a couple of like the local jiu-jitsu guys, and like we went to this like beach. Yeah. That was like nobody knows about it, kind of like locals beach kind of thing. And we got called like, well, I got called a Haoli. Yeah. I don't know what my wife did, but I did. And then one of the other guys was someone that I had trained with. Okay. And he was like, no, he's cool. And then they're like, oh, okay. Yeah. That white boy over there is cool. And then that was it. But it's kind of a neat little like, oh yeah, sweet. Jiu-jitsu's worldwide.
There's a lot of bad motherfuckers on the North Shore, man.
Dude, if you're ever thinking that you're a badass and you've never trained before, just go up there and like pick a fight with anyone, because they will all work you over. Yeah. Like, they're even like the surfers up there are just hard. Yeah. I remember like I fell off a stand-up paddleboard, raked my entire foot on coral. Like I had like, it was like 3 by 4 inches of the bottom of my foot ripped, gone. Like, and it was bleeding everywhere. I let it sit in the salt water because I was like, oh yeah, salt water is probably good for it.
It's so full of bacteria.
Yeah, I didn't think of that because I'm an idiot. And I get back to the hotel and like my shoes full of blood and all this other stuff. And then I was like, oh, well, don't worry. Let it sit in like the salt water. It's probably good. And the guy behind the counter, he's like, you're so stupid. Like, he just looked at me. He's like, you're the dumbest person ever. He's like, honestly, yeah, salt water is probably good for it. Just not the millions of people that are peeing and the kids that like shitting in the water. I'm like, ew, because it just kind of sits there in the wave and just kind of stays there.
Sure.
Because we're just stand-up paddleboarding in this little cove. I was like, oh yeah, cool. He's like, you know what? I'm not allowed to do this, but here's some. I think he gave me vodka or something. He's like, just pour it on it. Like, let's disinfect that right now. And then he gave me a bunch of wipes, and he just like went to like the thing.
Yeah.
Gave me a whole bunch of stuff for the stupid white people that don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then like he showed me the scar, and it was like from shoulder to hip.
Oh, was it staph infection?
Yeah, no, it was.
That's what you like. You people get that from the ocean, right?
No, he got raked on the coral.
Oh,
so he got hit into a riptide or something and raked across, and it was like, it was thick. I was like, damn. He's like, yeah, poor one, just another day. I was like, and I'm sitting there like complaining about my little foot. Like it looked like a scab compared to what was happening there. I was like, damn. And he's like, yeah, I just go back out.
Yeah,
is what it is. They're hard. They're hard people.
Awesome. Like this is probably, I don't know, it was a long time ago, 15 years ago or something. I lived on the North Shore for like a whole winter.
Oh, nice. I like how you're doing
that was accidental. Oh yeah. And the guy that I was staying with was a famous like surf videographer. And he was like, look, man, like the second I got there, he was like, look, man, I know you want to surf when you're here. When you're out there, if someone else is paddling for the wave, this isn't like California or anywhere else. They're gonna catch the wave. So don't even paddle for it. Because if you paddle for it and you get in their way, they'll beat the fuck out of you.
Oh yeah.
So just don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. But I actually like, I mean, I guess I was just sort of minding my P's and Q's or whatever, but I really, really, the few people I did interact with in that time, I really thought they were awesome people and
beautiful.
I met like so many like kind of like known surfers and stuff, and I was like, wow, all these people are so nice. Even like a couple of like the known sort of like badass guys, like I met them and I was like, I kind of at first being like, oh shit, I hope, you know, I don't want to get on the wrong side. And they'd be like, hey, how's it going? You know, like super cool. And
they're probably like, if I was ever to move, that's where I'd want to. That like, I love the North Shore and I love Hawaiian people and I love their culture. I love their they don't back down kind of thing. They're not soft, like they're not soft people. They're real people, and they're just like, hey, we are like, and I love them to death because it's like, if you're mind your P's and Q's, or if you're not just a stupid tourist, they're the nicest people ever too.
Yeah,
they'll give you the shirt off their back, right?
Yeah.
I can't say enough good things about them. I would live on the North Shore. It's so chill. Yeah. Like you walk down the main street of like Haleiwa.
Yeah.
And like some of the store signs say big waves today, be back later kind of thing. Like they close the shop. They just close it down for the surfing. It's like you look at it, you're like, and I'm here busting my ass 8 to 5 every single day, fixing other people's cars, ungrateful about it.
Yeah.
And then they're chilling. Like, I know that they have to work hard, but like they work hard and play hard.
And there's a rough side to Hawaii for sure. Like, but the family culture too, you know, of like everyone gets together, everyone, like the friends are family. And like, that's who, you know, that story,
Lilo and Stitch. I sure do.
That's where I know everything. No, that story about, I forget where this is. It's like from a movie, or maybe it's just like a parable or whatever, about, like a rich businessman, like older businessman, goes to Mexico on a fishing trip, and he asked the fisherman like, so what, like a local guy at a bar, like, what do you do? And he's like, oh, I'm a fisherman. He's like, well, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm a businessman. And he's like, oh, so what do you do? Well, I do this all day long, and I like trade stocks, and I do this, and it's really super stressful, and I have to like drive to the office on the freeway, and I have to do all this stuff, but I make tons of money though. And he's like, oh yeah. And then, so what do you do with that money? He's like, well, I come down and fish. And the fisherman's like, oh, cool. Like,
Yeah.
I do that every day.
I get to do that, and I don't have all that other shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I totally messed up that story, but you get the idea. But yeah, I can see how, we're way off topic,
Way off.
but I can see how, it's that mentality of respect is appealing, you know? Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And I think like the surf and the jiu-jitsu cultures really meld well.
Totally.
Like it's just, you get your ego checked on the waves, you get your ego checked in the training room. And like the P2 crews that you see there, very well, like their egos are held in check fairly well. Like you get some outliers, obviously, but yeah. And then like shout out to Michael Fowler. What a phenomenal teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. He showed me a lot of little tricks for triangles when I've been there a couple times. And yeah, every little bit that he showed me, I was like, this dude is awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was really cool.
So I'm going to use that as a way to bring us back to the topic, which is, I think, a thing that really helps with plateaus is changing your perspective. Whether that's going to another gym, like we always talk about, throwing yourself into a competition, working on something you haven't worked on before, like trying a different approach, or like watching some videos or listening to some podcasts or reading a book, maybe even doing something else outside of jiu-jitsu, physical, like yoga or something, you know, just to get a different sense of what your body can do, where your weaknesses are.
Let's see here. Looking at one of the best ones for myself is seminars. Like you go and rock into someone else's seminar, you like, especially if you don't really know where you're going or who you're going to like learn from. Any seminar where you can go in with an open mind, you'll learn something and you'll be like, ooh, almost every seminar that I've ever been to, whether it was like a good point where I was like, ooh, I love that, I'm going to work that. And then that kind of like puts you down this wormhole that you're like, okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that. And this can go there. Or the flip side is there's been a couple of seminars that I've been to where I was like, oh, well, why are you doing it that way? And then like, they like, and it was a little bit more old school seminar. And I went to them because I was like, oh, this guy must know everything. Like he's a red belt or whatever. And you're like, and I'm not saying all of them, but like some of them are still stuck in their ways. And it made me really look at my game and go, okay, well, if they're doing it that way and I didn't like it, what's the other way to do it? And I sit there with an open mind and I listen and I do the thing for all of them. But yeah, a seminar, especially those ones that have like we've talked about it before, like Grappler Syndicate. This one up in Calgary that I'm doing this weekend, the IWD. I can't remember what that stands for, but that one's going to be awesome too. That one has 6 black belt instructors, like myself, cool. Lee Mean, Randy Chung. Sorry, I'm just going to like name drop a whole bunch. Drew Weatherhead, and Andre from Upper Academy. And I can't remember the other guy, but like that's 6 black belts that you get to roll with and get to learn from. And one of those people is going to be like, going to snap something in your brain and go, oh, I like that. And work on that. Kind of thing.
And Grappler Syndicate too, you know, like that makes me think about your comment about how many black belts there are because of who shows up at Grappler Syndicate. Just like Oliver Taza was there and like all these like big names.
Oliver Taza, Brian St. Marie, Corey from 10th.
like legit, like
oh yeah,
players,
level, and then they bring out other people from like Montreal and stuff.
Yeah,
Grappler Syndicate's another one that if you can ever get out to the mountains for any of them, I can't recommend them enough. They're so good, and I absolutely love them because I'm just sitting there. I'm like, sweet, I don't have to teach. I just get to learn. I'm in Canmore. How much better can it get? And you just get a full weekend of awesome stuff.
And so just to kind of like punctuate,
bring us back again.
No, like to punctuate that, I guess, is just changing your perspective. Whatever way you can kind of like give yourself a shake and look at it from a different way. I think that helps. Like, driving to work, like I like to listen to books about jiu-jitsu. Like I'm listening to I'll have to put the title in the description of the episode or something, but it's like a history of Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Oh, nice.
It's like right from whatever it is, 1910 and onward. And it really gives you a sense of sort of how the sport has evolved and who the characters were and stuff like that. But I'll switch on and off from that to like the Danaher Diaries, and then like that Mataka's book, the On Jiu Jitsu, and just kind of like, I like to change my perspective from like up close, like this is how you do a move, to like far out to like this is what the sport is about. I'm
actually really liking podcasts, and the Les Friedman one.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever he has a jiu-jitsu guy, and just hearing their different mindsets, whether it's like John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, Gary Tonin, Craig Jones, Josh Barnett. I'll name drop Josh Barnett all the time. Every podcast that he's on, I've tried to listen to, just because I truly enjoy the way that he looks at things.
I since you mentioned him, we'll come back to the lost episode. So I want to say something about that, but I listened to some stuff of his since you mentioned him, and that he's kind of like a jiu-jitsu anti-hero too. Like he went against the establishment all along, and like has just forged his own path and been his own person. And
he's one of those like warrior philosophers. And that's what like I've tried to like build around me. Like I'm not like, I love reading philosophy. I don't like spout it off or anything like that. I
that would suck.
I would really suck at doing that, but I really try to emphasize that in my own personal thing, because I love that warrior philosopher.
And I'm not saying you would suck at that. I'm just saying, like, even he doesn't go off spouting it. People are asking him, when someone asks you a direct question, it's fine. But if you were the kind of guy who's just like, hold on, class, have you ever thought about the lotus flower? I'd be like, dude, shut up.
We're here for jiu-jitsu. Go home. I'd be like, and on that note,
like that. Speaking of yoga too, as a perspective changer, like I've always liked yoga teachers who are like, do the position, like, here's how you use your body, your muscles, whatever. But as soon as they start going into that whole like
align your
and like
whatever,
like you're not my spiritual guru, like just show me how to do the pose, like,
I mean, maybe that you just need a change in perspective.
Maybe. So
do you have a plateau in yoga? Maybe you just need to change your perspective.
I have sucked for a long time. That's for sure.
So yoga and jiu-jitsu, the same.
Yeah. Luckily, yoga doesn't have belts.
I'm still a one-stripe white belt.
But I kick a lot of people's asses there. Just like,
they don't even know.
Just like choking people out. I don't think he gets what this is. But one thing I was going to mention, so the other day, so I'm 48 almost on Sunday.
Ooh.
48. I went to the pump track in Banff. They have a new like bike skateboard pump track.
Okay.
No helmet, no pads. And I was like, I used to be able to skate in the bowl pretty well. And I was like, I was looking at it. I had my skateboard and I was like, I couldn't leave without trying it, because I was like, this is one of those moments where like I can either walk away from this and be like, oh, I'll do it another day, or I can face my fear and do it. So did I do it exceedingly well? No, but I did do it. And I think that what that makes me think of is there's also little moments in your jujitsu journey where, and they could be tiny moments where you have to face some kind of fear and be like, you know what? I'm going to roll with that higher belt, or I'm going to roll with that visiting person, or I'm going to go try another gym, or I'm going to give up like holding on tight so that I can try some moves, you know? I think facing your fears is an integral part of breaking through plateaus.
It's a great part. And you brought up going to another gym.
Mm-hmm.
So many people don't. Like it's actually very few people that will go to another gym because it is scary to go to another group of people that you have no idea about, and you're like, oh, maybe I'll get wrecked, or maybe they won't roll with me, or like there's so many different thoughts.
I did get wrecked at another gym, but that's okay.
And it's totally fine.
Faced my fears.
It's totally fine. And I'm always like, I'm not one of those instructors that's like, no, you're not allowed to train anywhere else.
Of course.
Or whatever like that. I think that's the biggest load of bullshit. And that's why my entire jiu-jitsu journey, I have trained everywhere that, like, if I travel, I try and find a gym. If I'm going up, I'm always like, if I go up to Edmonton, I'm always trying to find another gym to train at, as long as they're like not that McDojo-y, you have to wear a gi, you can't wear a colored gi or whatever. Like, I don't want to train with those people. They bore me. They do. They're just like, you have to buy my gi, or you have to rent my gi, you have to wear the white gi. I'm like, I don't need to train at your gym that bad. I'll go train at a fun gym and have a good time. And so many, there is a shift, but there is still quite a few gyms that are like that, which is crazy to me. And hey, if that's your thing, do it.
But, for sure.
But that it's like so anti against what like I like. I just can't bring myself to be like, I'll have a good time here. Like, sure, maybe I'll learn something, but man, I would be like, the entire time I would probably be like, what the hell am I doing here? This is stupid.
What are some other ways that like in your mind, what are some other sort of fears that people face along the way that they can take a little leap to overcome?
There's a big fear of like just being on your back or having someone on your back. Like, and like this comes down to like a gym microcosm in the gym where you're just like, I don't want anything to do with like back mount or anything like that. Like if they're on your back, people are scared of that, and like they work so hard at not allowing people on their back that once someone does have their back, it's game over because they don't have any like legitimate defenses. Leg locks, a lot of people like they steer away from them because they think like they're crazy dangerous because there's like this weird stigma behind them. But that's another pathway that you could be like, if you've never done them before, there's so much knowledge out there that you could like start to develop a leg lock game. And then that will lead to other things. That'll lead to breakthroughs everywhere.
And that's like, I think for me, man, and like I think everyone's guilty of this, but like you find something that works and then you stick to it because they're always, even if you like, I feel like I don't have a ton of ego when it comes to BJJ, but there's always, there's always there's always ego. And like, there's always this sort of like, I don't want to lose. And I think for me, it's like ditching that fear of, well, it's kind of a two-part fear. One is like, I'm going to lose if I try this. And the other is, and leg locks is a good example. Like, oh, for some reason that's too complicated for me. Well, why? It's like, there's exactly the same as anything else. It's just a different part of the body. Right.
And that actually leads into the second fear I was going to say. And it's like, that's too complicated. I'm out. No, I can't do it. It's a fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown.
And you're like, you know what? Dive into it. See what happens. I'm another big believer in do the thing that scares you.
Do the thing that scares you.
As long as it's not like cliff jumping off a hauling, because that never ends well.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
But like do the thing that scares you so that you're gonna actually develop better into it. When I started this club, or not when I started, but actually when I started, I was like a 3-stripe white belt. I was like, what are we doing? And I was with my buddy Rich when we started. It's like, we don't know anything. This is the dumbest thing ever. And it was like, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. And then when I went full time, like 2 years ago, it was one of those things. I was like 1 foot in mechanics, 1 foot in here.
Yeah. You had to take the leap.
Yeah. And I was like absolutely miserable as like a mechanic. Like I was good at my job, and I'm actually fairly knowledgeable in automotives.
Yeah.
But I hated taking like just shit from my managers, and it's like, why am I even here?
Yeah.
And then I was like looking at the club, I was like, I bet I could make it work. And then my wife was like, do it.
Yeah.
Jump in, because you're not the guy to be like 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
You need to jump in.
And you're definitely not the guy to be like, oh man, I could have done that probably.
Yeah, no, I'm like, let's go. And it's a good thing, and it's also a bad thing, because I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And it's like I put 100% behind that.
Yeah.
So my hobbies vary vastly. But yeah, when it comes to like running the club, that was a scary moment, but it was also, I need to jump in, do it. I'm gonna make it work.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that I will make it work.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
It's just do the scary thing.
It even, like starting your own businesses, is like a whole other level, but like
Whole nother.
it's a whole nother level. But like even like quitting one job to go to the next, or like being out there to look for another job or whatever, it's that's that kind of leap is like, it's when you hear that voice inside being like, this sucks. I want to do something better. There's something better out there,
And like the grass can be greener if you put the effort into that grass. That job switching thing, like it can be scary, like if you quit, because not most jobs, depending on your situation, but you can be there and maybe it sucks for you, but it doesn't suck all the way.
Oh,
and like,
totally. Yeah.
and that's that thing where there's a breakthrough. If it's too good, you're going to be like, okay, well, I can do something else too, and I can do better.
Yeah.
So then you leave that company. If it sucks too much, you leave disgruntled. But if it's in that like, well, I guess I can make it work every single day, you're going to be miserable and all this other stuff. Find something that you love, invest in it, put your time.
Yeah.
And I know that we're way off topic, but I'm very passionate about find something that you love to do.
Yeah.
Figure out a way how to make money in that.
Yeah.
And dive into it. Put your extra time. Don't sit there on a TV screen and be like, oh, I'm just going to watch every show ever on Netflix.
Yeah.
Put your time into but put your time into something.
Yeah.
And invest it. Too many people, it's that beautiful saying. Everyone thinks that you have 2 lives, and you don't. You don't know that you don't have that other life until you realize that you only have one, and you're like, oh shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I need to
totally
really make it my life.
Totally.
You're the main character of your own life. And make a story of it.
And like, I actually don't think we're that off topic, because you have those moments in day-to-day life where it's like, yeah, you're sitting at the edge of the coping on the skate park, and you're like, is this something I really want to do, or do I want to walk away? And it's like, I feel like when you dive in on the little ones, it's like working out. Not that I work out, but actually that is something I want to bring into the conversation in a second. But it's like building that brain muscle of like, I can take the leap. I can take the leap. I can take the leap. And like, I know that's something that I guess it's like part of my character, or something that I've been building up, where like, I can't walk away from those moments, those little moments where it's like, okay, I'm going to paddle into this, or I'm going to drop into this thing, or I'm going to when I was younger, I'm going to ask out that girl or whatever, like as soon as I get that moment where like, oh, this is scary, then I have to do it, because otherwise then you walk away being like, oh shit, I didn't do it.
Yeah. I hate the what ifs.
Yeah.
Or wish I did this. I can't. And if I ever go, okay, well, I'm not going to do that, there better be a damn good reason behind it.
Yeah.
And it must outweigh it for some reason. If it's just, oh, it's scary, I'm doing it. I'm going to
totally.
I don't have like even in MMA or any jiu-jitsu competition that I've ever done. And we didn't, but I've talked about it, about nerves.
Yeah.
And I just don't get them.
Right.
Like going into my first MMA event, everyone's like, oh, are you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm pretty chill. I'm just going to go and do my thing. I get excited for other people. Yeah. Like, ooh, like when Joe was going, I was like, I was getting amped up. But like when it's my own thing, I'm just like, no, it's not scary to me, that kind of stuff, like competition or anything like that. But yeah, if it's scary mentally, like the jumping in, running your own business, that's scary.
Yeah.
But you got to do it. In my mind, I had to do it. If I didn't do it, I would, be rest.
Yeah. I was really nervous for Jonah. I will say, I was like, oh my God. Because he's like yes, he could kick my ass, but he's still like a little brother around here,
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, but so proud of that guy, man. Like, and that's not lip service either. It's like what you were saying today after class is like, that's one of those things. Taking that leap to be like, I'm going to go it, like, man, I forget how you put it exactly, but you were like, unless you have stepped into that cage and they close the door behind you, you don't know what that's like. And I think for him to do that at that young age, and it wasn't probably the exact outcome he wanted, but I feel like he leveled up so high, like
he leveled up greatly, and you're going to see him in the next one.
Yeah.
He is going to come back tenfold.
Yeah.
Jonah's got such an amazing mind for it. He's unbreakable.
Yeah.
He really is.
That's good. Yeah.
And I can't say enough good things about him. I'd not waste, but I would fill an entire podcast.
Yeah.
And proud of the kid, man. And I can't wait to see what he comes back with, because it's going to be incredible. It will be amazing to watch him come back off this, because he thrives in that kind of like in that sport, in that competition mode.
Oh yeah.
And not the result we wanted, but man, you're not going to deter that kid.
I feel like the result is almost irrelevant.
It is. It's amateur. It's amateur MMA.
Yeah.
So the ref had to stop it a little bit early, but you know what?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of his progression, it's irrelevant. It's like
he's
whatever. It's just you got your feet wet.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
Now you know what it's like.
And he's gonna come back.
Yeah,
way better. It's gonna be awesome.
I just like. And by the way, side note, the guy that he was fighting was 0-1 going into that. So, it's irrelevant.
It was a good matchup.
Yeah,
just didn't go our way.
Yeah, but he did clock that guy pretty good.
Oh man, he had a nice 1-2 off.
That looked really good. And then he took that other swing, and I was like, oh man, had that connected? Like,
he's caught me with that a couple of times in sparring. Like, man, and I'm like 60 pounds heavier than the kid. I'm like, I can eat it, but that hurt.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to mention that's actually on topic is the other. I had a kind of a funny realization the other day, because Cooper was talking about. He was like, "Yeah, I'm around 135 right now." I'm like, "Damn, dude, no wonder I beat that guy a lot. It's because like I'm like literally double that guy's weight. I mean, I'm not 260. I'm like 205 or something.
Yeah.
But like, it made me start thinking about like my own sort of like nutrition and like how else I'm maintaining my body. And I think that there are ways within jiu-jitsu to I don't know, leverage like working out and like feeling healthier and in just in terms of changing your perspective, I guess, you know, like what can you do to improve your health so that your jiu-jitsu feels better, your strength, your endurance. I think that's got to be a way to be able to change your perspective.
Oh, yeah. And your health and your longevity.
Yeah.
This is a rough sport.
Yeah.
I know it's called the gentle art, but it is a rough sport. It's a combat sport.
Yeah.
Shit gets strained, arms get ligaments get torn sometimes.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and I've always been always say yes kind of guy to the matchups.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until like maybe a year and a half ago that I actually started like doing body weight exercises and like doing proper stuff to try and maintain my body, because I came out of ADCC with an even more busted knee.
Yeah.
And then I accepted a super fight the weekend after that. And then I accepted another super fight the weekend after that. And then after like that stretch, it was like 4 in a row. And I was like, oh my goodness, my body was just like at the point of I might not be able to teach.
Yeah.
So that kind of snapped something in my head that I was like, start stretching every day. I do like 150 push-ups every single day. I do sit-ups. I hang I hang so it fixes my shoulders a little bit, because I'm always like hunched over or like in striking or something like that.
Yeah.
I do have little lingering injuries, and my knees are not always the best, but they have been getting slightly better. And yeah, if you're like, man, I need something, look at your diet.
Yeah.
Diet's a big thing.
And sleep.
Yeah.
I know you're not the guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely not the guy for that. But yeah, diet and sleep. You got to know when to rest.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying don't go do jiu-jitsu, but if your body needs rest, maybe don't do hard rounds. Maybe don't spar. Maybe just go in and sit on the sidelines and write notes, listen, do that kind of thing. Yeah, you got to listen to your body, and I can't tell you enough how much diet can really affect.
Yeah.
And I'm not the cleanest eater. I'm not anything like that. I still have a beer every now and then. Sometimes I have like 3-4 beers, too many
before class.
Yeah, you know, when I teach, and I'm like, oh, it's only
the stripes just fly.
Yeah, it's like everybody gets a stripe. Become Oprah. Look under your chair.
You got a black belt.
But like it is. You do need to start if you're looking for longevity. If you're looking for something to amp up your game, look at your diet. Look at stretching routine. Look at stuff like that. And it will help. It's just something that you can do to better yourself. I like how when you plug that in, that light gets dimmer.
we're high tech here, people.
Yeah.
We're like, I think we overworked the grid.
If you're just like listening to us, the light went bright because he unplugged his phone. But don't worry, we got the audio and the video.
We think.
And I'm gonna bring that back to our lost episodes.
Yeah.
We had one here. This is actually like episode 12.
Yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do 3 potato episodes in a row. I couldn't do it. And I messaged Emmett. I was like, that's a potato episode. So we're gonna
at like 7 a.m. or like I saw it at like 7 a.m. after like
2.
Staying up, all night doing the podcast, and I was like,
yeah, it was at 2 in the morning when I realized everything because it finally uploaded. I was like, I hate this. And then I was like, okay, we got a couple of game plans that we can do here for you. And then, yeah. So we're going to have another episode for you later on. We're gonna put that one on the back burner, and then we'll come back to it so that it doesn't sound like a regurgitated episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking like we just keep it in a vault, and then when we're famous, you know, like we're super famous, ultra wealthy podcasters, which is bound to happen.
Yeah. Within 15 episodes, right?
Within, yeah. Then like people, you know, on the internet will be like, "Did you know there's a lost episode?"
Yeah.
And I hear they talk about it.
You know what? I'm gonna keep it on there. They talk about it every now and then. It's gonna be like one of these like internet myths.
Yeah, I hear there's some like really deep secrets about jiu-jitsu on there. Like, yeah, it's gold for sure.
It is a golden episode.
If you don't mind, you know, listening to something that sounds like it was recorded by hamsters or something.
Yeah, it was such a good episode. I even got Emmett to like let me know that it was the best joke he's ever heard.
On the podcast. Yeah. I guess we could actually tell that story because that's funny. Do you want to tell that story?
Yeah. Because
that's a funny story. Or we can save it. You want to save it?
Let's save it.
Okay, let's save it
for the next episode.
So there's some more stuff I want to talk about on this, but one thing I did want to mention just about overcoming your fears and like going into competitions. I don't think I ever told you this, but so twice in my life with no experience, and I mean like didn't know what I was doing. I just went into a martial arts competition. Like once, I think it was like Taekwondo. And then, so once I had like maybe 3 or 4 BJJ classes, but the Taekwondo one, I did Taekwondo as a little kid. And then when I was like 17 or 18 or something, there was might have been karate. I don't even know what it was. And I was like, yeah, I'll go do that.
Nice.
Just like, it was like in a stadium, and I got my ass whooped, but I was like, I want to go try that, see how I do. I got my fucking ass whipped. And then, BJJ, I had done 3 or 4 classes, maybe a couple more than that. And I went from Toronto to Hamilton and just did a BJJ competition. I was probably like 20 or something. And then I did like the guy that I fought was like probably like 34-year-old dad strength man. Nice. I took him down, and he did a collar choke because I think I had never trained in a gi. Yeah. And then he did that, you know, that thing. Yep. And I had no idea what to do.
I like how you're a blue belt and you're describing it as a that thing. A basic cross collar choke, and he's calling it a that thing.
Yeah, you know, it's I like to keep people guessing, you know. Cross collar choke.
Dude, on that note, I jumped into a kickboxing match with like 2 months of kickboxing experience, and I had to drop 28 pounds.
Oh my God.
In a week. And it was crazy. I've never done anything.
28 pounds in a week?
And I did it. And then I was going against this guy. My coach was like, yeah, totally, you got it. I was like, okay. I don't know, because it's a last minute thing. And at that time, I was still in the I've had the same mentality forever is, yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, he leg kicked me I think it was amateur, and like, it was like these weird rules. And I got leg kicked for 3-minute rounds. And I came out like from my hip to my ankle, black and blue. And dude, I got worked over. And then I heard from the other guy's coach, he's like congratulating me. He's like, oh man, how long have you been training? I'm like 2 months. And he's like, your coach did you dirty.
Yeah.
This guy's been doing it for like 4 years or something. And he did something in like Thailand. I was like, what? And it turns out my coach just wanted to like say that he put on like 6 fighters in this thing.
What?
And I was like, oh, thanks. Like I next day I quit. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I was like, you're bullshit. This sucks.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Dude.
And like, I came out of that like just wrecked. Everything hurt.
Man.
It was brutal.
That's horrible.
Yeah.
Well, I'll use that as a segue. And so a couple things actually. One thing I think is for plateaus, I don't know if you want to use the word like role model, but I think picking someone maybe whose like style is appropriate, or someone whose game you really like, and then like doing a bit of a deep dive into that person I'm still kind of like looking for who I want that to be in the, in the larger world of jiu-jitsu, like on
Orlando Sanchez.
Who's that?
Rest in peace, but Orlando Sanchez.
Oh yeah.
He's about your body type.
Oh yeah.
But he is like
just super jacked.
Yeah.
Six pack.
Super jacked. But like he has a interesting game. Like
okay.
Okay.
Interesting. Okay.
I'd be really interested to see what you take from his game though.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Similar body types.
Okay. Yeah, just super jacked, ripped.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
We're gonna have to like edit the video, but yeah,
I'll check it out. And I think like so that can help you kind of like, I think, understand your game a little bit better, or where you want your game to get to, is like looking at those really high level people, and then getting your opinion on this, diving into like a niche thing, like a position, or like I said, an athlete or whatever, but like more a position kind of thing.
Yeah, and I love to do that. That's why I love advanced class so much, because it's like a question period.
Yeah.
And if I haven't like deep dived into that, I will deep dive into it then. But for most like these niche little positions, like let's say K guard, back when Lachlan Giles was first hitting everyone with it, I was like, what is this magic? So I deep dive into that, and it just unlocks like whether or not you're going to implement it in your game.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's there and knowing maybe the defenses to it, or using little tidbits from these little niche positions or these little niche submissions.
Yeah.
And learning how to get there.
Yeah. Will
unlock different levels for you. I love it. I love deep diving into video study.
Yeah.
Like I video study a lot. Like if I'm ever out to eat somewhere, like just by myself, I'll have
with your wife.
Yeah. No, sometimes I have to talk. She's actually very, very nice about it, because I'll be on like just the couch. I'll be like watching a video and she's like, "Did you hear anything I just said?" I was like, "What?" And then she's like, "I can't believe it." I'm like, I'm watching a video. Come on.
She's like, did you hear anything I just said? And you're like, "Yeah, K guard. Yeah, got it.
Like, yeah, Craig Jones, totally. And then but like if I'm just out on my own, or if I'm even here, like I'll just watch videos and I'll be like taking notes. Again, I take a lot of notes, and I'm just like, study this, look at this, and then I'm like, in K guard, he moves this way, and then I like start doing it in rolls and everything. Video study on little niche positions.
Yeah.
The new metas, like whatever everyone is starting to do, highly recommend like looking into.
Really?
Those little things like the Tackett brothers. I think we've mentioned it before, but they in the CJI, the guard passing was exquisite.
Oh, really?
So
wow.
Good. And what their main focus was don't allow your opponent to put their feet on you.
Yeah.
At any
time,
ever.
Oh, right.
And they just that's their main mission. Yeah. That's the mission statement of their guard passing is, okay, they're putting on, gone. And like get them off, move around. And when I watched that, I was like, damn. Okay, I like it. And then I started doing that with like the blue belts and stuff. I was like, hey, you should look at this guard. And then it's just one that puts their feet on me. I'm like, sweet. And no, I don't do that, but I should.
I think, and getting your thoughts on this too, like, way back whenever that was, like last June or July, when I was like, I think I kind of was hitting maybe like an early blue belt plateau, or just, I don't know if I felt like it was so much a plateau, but more just like I hadn't devised a game plan for myself yet. And I just asked you, I was like, what should I be working on? And you said half guard. And I think that there's probably, and this is a question, not a statement, there's probably like at certain levels, these sort of like, call it like hub and spoke, there's the hub positions, and then there's the spoke positions, and half guard is like one of those hubs.
Yep.
And maybe at different levels there's other hubs that you should be looking at.
Yeah, half guard is one of the beautiful ones because you have so many different options off of it. Like you can go from half guard to deep half. You can go from half guard to dogfight. You can go from half guard to so many different areas, and you can have your knee shields. You can have low, mid, high knee shield, long shield, all these little things, and then you can also like invert and go back after like knee bars and stuff like that. Like it is one of those pivotal areas. And then if you look at it and you reverse it, you look at top half. And then you have your knee slice game, you have your tabletop game, you have your backstep to 411 game.
Yeah.
So those are ones I think of like seated guard as a hub and understanding how to like go into like a butterfly if they come down to their knees, how to go into De La Hiva, reverse De La Hiva, how to sweep, how to wrestle up from like seated guard or kneeling guard. Those are I've really found wrestle ups lately have expanded my knowledge,
right?
Because rather than just sitting and like kind of waiting, and then they're just kind of sitting or standing and walking around you, you go, bet I could trap your knees together and take you down, and like those wrestle ups, and then so yeah, all these little guard positions where you hear it, probably that's a hub that or a spider web. It's like central of a spider web that I think of, and then you just branch off from there.
And that wrestle up, it's not like Drew Weatherhead when he was here, and remember he came in what was that, 8 months ago, something like that? Was it that?
It would have been last summer because he goes down to the States for the winter.
Oh, okay. And he was talking about like just extracting yourself from the situation.
Yeah.
You know, like we kind of have this mindset of like I have to stay engaged, but he's like, why? You know, if you can get out and then re-engage, if you're not in the specific sort of situation you want to be in, extract yourself and then
and engage in a way that you want to.
Totally.
Like we kind of went over that with butterfly guard. We started with a bad like we had poor butterfly guard, and they do a crush pass or a smash pass, whatever you want to call it, and then you get out of that with just a basic like side mount escape, and then you come back into butterfly and you re-enter on your terms, right? And then you have your frames up and you have a shield, and then you can get your double unders and your head positioning. But it's realizing that you can either disengage entirely or re-engage under your own terms. Yeah. Both top and bottom.
Yeah. Hopefully I'm not misrepresenting what Drew said when he was here. Hopefully, but I think I
don't think you care.
Yeah.
I know that he's an avid listener.
Yeah, for sure. Of the Emmett Show.
Yeah.
he lives and dies by what I say, for sure. So what about I know one thing, this is something that I legitimately can honestly say that I do all the time, is mental reps. Like we do something in the advanced class, I'm driving to work, listening to stuff about jiu-jitsu. I'm also like, just swerving and also trying to start fights with people on the street to practice.
Normal.
But like, I'll rep it in my mind so that I understand sort of like what, I try and like remember what it feels like and like where everything goes. And I think that is a big part of it.
You'll see me on the sideline when I'm just staring at a wall. It's either I zoned out or I'm just repping a move in my head to like either put up on YouTube the next day or that I want to actually try out. And I find that I've hit like little things. Like I do this, it's a butterfly, like almost a sweep, but I'm looking to get into like reverse X off of it.
Okay.
And I repped it in my mind on a walk with my dog.
Totally.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I bet I could do it. I bet it would work this way. And I've never seen it before. And I was like, I bet I could do it. And I bet I could do it against a resisting opponent like Nino. Like my brain is like Nino's defensive almost all the time. And I was like, I bet if I could off balance him to the side, I could bring my legs in the right way and catch like 411 off of a reverse X.
Sure.
And
easy.
Oh yeah, right. But I'm sitting there and I repped in my mind probably about 100 times.
Yeah.
And then that was just one of the Tuesday, Thursday afternoon classes that they show up. And lo and behold, it worked. And I was like, damn. And he's like, look at me. He's like, what was that? I was like, I don't know, but I repped it in my head like a million times. And then I came in here and I tried it. And then like, we actually have a video on it on the YouTube channel, because I was like, you know what?
Nice.
If it works on someone not suspecting it, it's gonna work. And then I hit it like a bunch more times. I was like, this is awesome.
Nice.
So yeah.
I remember reading I forget what book it was. This was a long time ago, but it was about like Russian Olympic athletes. Not the whole book, just a section in this book, and how at one point, like Soviet Olympic athletes.
So the completely clean, not steroid infused Russian athletes.
And I don't know if it was wrestling or what the sport was, or if it was all the sports, but they basically had like 3 streams of athletes as like a testing ground for this theory that like, so one, one stream of athletes listening.
Emmett's putting up
the middle
3.5 fingers.
Like one stream of athletes would only train physically. The second stream of athletes would train physically and devote a certain amount of time to repping in their mind. And then the third stream of athletes would only rep in their mind. And like the second stream, which was both, had a clear advantage. But the most, I think like the most disadvantaged one was the people who only trained physically.
Yeah. Like
obviously this is athletes, high level athletes who've been doing it for a long time anyways. It's not like you come into jiu-jitsu, watch it, and then I got it. I did it in my mind. But like in preparation for a competition, they're like repping it in their mind was equally or more effective than repping it physically.
I think that was the Outliers. Have you ever read that book?
Oh, could have been. No, I had never read that book.
Okay, well, maybe it wasn't.
So no, probably not. Yeah. But
Outliers has something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to read a good book, The Outliers is a great one.
That's Malcolm Gladwell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really good. Goes into a bunch of different things on like how the best people in the world ended up being the best people in the world.
And that's the 10,000 hours thing, right?
There's some of that in there.
Yeah.
But it's also like, for like hockey players, it's when you were born, right? The first 3 months, like January, February, March, had a higher, like it was a crazy percentage. It was like 80% of NHL players are born in those 3 months. Why? Because they're more developed, bigger, and all that. Because the hockey year ends December 31st, starts January kind of thing, and that's when, if you're born earlier, you get more attention because you're more mentally like efficient, cognizant, and you're bigger generally.
Yeah.
And yeah, most of the highest level players are born in the first 3 months. And I don't know if it's changed. Hockey's changed a crazy amount since I've been in it. But that like really stuck with me. I was like, huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's like, it's almost preordained.
Yeah. And like Bill Gates,
great hockey player.
Oh yeah, great hockey player. But how did he get to the like top in the tech? Well, he just so happened to live close to one of the original like 8 computers, and his dad was friends with the dean or something like that, so he got extra time on this limited use computer. So that's another thing that I think is critically important is there's this myth, right, about and it comes up a lot about the tech world of the self-made man. I was in my garage and I made this and it's all me. And like invariably that shit is not true. They had like a community around them of all kinds of people who were like
giving them advice, money, guidance, whatever,
Trust fund.
facilities, like access to information, whatever. So like this myth of the self-made man is bullshit, basically. I'm sure there are cases where it's not total bullshit.
I would have to say that it's very few and very far between.
And bringing it all the way back to jiu-jitsu and the topic at hand, there is jiu-jitsu. If there's one thing jiu-jitsu has, it's a strong community. And so like, if you have questions, there's so many ways to reach out, whether that's like online, your teammates, your coach, like all these different
YouTube, instructionals, Reddit, all these fun things, books. If you're a book person, there's crazy amounts of books on this.
And you can be it doesn't have to just be passive passive information gathering. You can interact, become a part of the community, go to events, go to seminars, talk to people,
watch competitions.
And like, if you're feeling like you're in a slump, talk to your teammate and be like, have you ever had a slump? Like what did you do to get through that? And I guarantee that you will, you'll find so many different approaches, answers.
Something's going to stick.
Yeah.
There's so many resources that you can have. And it's one of the saddest things is those people that quit at a plateau because they're like, oh, I'm not getting any better. I'm done. Like, man, if you would have just asked. And like, I try to go to people, but there's so many people that like have that. But realistically, your learning and your development is on you and how you pursue it. Right?
Sure. But that's the good thing, right? Because it's like
best thing. Because I think if it's on you, you have no one else to blame.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you have a like absolute shit coach, shit team that doesn't want like to help you, well, then you might just need to change that up.
Yeah.
But you are in charge of your own destiny.
Yeah.
And that's the most beautiful thing that is out there in all aspects. But in jiu-jitsu, you're in charge.
Yeah.
And take charge of it.
And that's like what in my mind, what makes that such a beautiful thing is when you do break through the plateau, or like, you get a second stripe on your blue belt or whatever. You feel like you've earned it, like you've done it. It's not that someone else, like you didn't luck out, I mean, yes, it was, it's definitely community based and that feeds into it, but you're the one who's driving that advancement,
Yeah. And that's the beautiful part about jiu-jitsu is you can take it in your own hands and build it for yourself.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah. So I think like my last sort of topic that I wanted to cover today, is reframing a plateau. You're looking like you're concerned about something over there.
I just saw a little spike and
my
eyes just went to it. I was like, whoa.
Please God, let us be recording this.
I hope so. It's all up to that.
Yeah. But like reframing a plateau and like seeing it as a necessary part of the process.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity to look at it in a different way and take that time and go, okay, I'm stalled out here. I feel like I've learned as much as I can at my level or whatever it is at this point in life. Cool. Let's take this opportunity to look at it through a different lens, through a teammate's eyes, through a coach's eyes. What can I do better? Where can I go? What can I do? It is an opportunity. It's a golden opportunity that some people look as a negative. I've always looked at these things as like a positive because it's a time that you're like, okay, well, if I'm at a plateau, that means that there's room to grow. And there are valleys. Sometimes you dip down and you're just like, oh, I'm starting to suck at jiu-jitsu again. Okay. But there's always going to be a rise after that.
Yeah.
Right.
What's that expression? The obstacle is the way. You ever heard that expression? The obstacle is the way.
Oh,
Yeah. That's the way. I think that summarizes it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you find the obstacle. That's the way to go.
Yep.
Or remember the Simpsons where she's like, the Chinese don't have different words for crisis and opportunity. And Homer's like, crisis-tunity.
I haven't watched Simpsons in forever, but I'll take your word on that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. The obstacle is the way, right?
It is. And it's a great little opportunity for you to grow. And I mean, if you're at a plateau and you're like, man, I want to reach out.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook. I don't really do Facebook, but I still try and respond.
I answer on Facebook.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you get the kind of like half-assed,
You get a
shitty answer.
You get a 2 straight blue belt answer.
It's you do this. I don't know what it is. It's a choke of some kind.
But Instagram,
Facebook, yeah.
Spotify, wherever, on YouTube even. I'm actually really active on YouTube. I'll answer all the questions.
Yeah.
Shoot them over and like, hey, maybe I can help.
Yeah.
If I can't, I'll try and point you down the right direction.
Yeah.
There's always opportunities to grow in this sport. So
Crisis-tunity.
Yep.
Great. I think that's all I've got for tonight.
Yeah, I think that was a great episode.
Agreed. Hopefully we recorded it.
Yeah. And on that lost episode, maybe it just stays lost.
Who knows?
Until someone digs it up.
Or sends some Bitcoin our way. Or
Yeah. One full Bitcoin.
Man. we got to get Jared on the Bitcoin thing. Maybe there's a
probably a good conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, I think we got to get Jared back on soon.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to
we definitely do need to get that conspiracy theory.
We need to do it. Yeah.
And the Avon episode.
Oh yeah. Oh, Avon's competing. When is she competing?
Oh, so we'll just do a couple shout outs.
Yeah.
So one, Skunkworks coming up May 10th. It is on YouTube. Give them a like and subscribe. Avon's competing, Danielle's competing,
right,
and myself.
Right.
We're all jumping on that card. It's going to be a dark horse takeover. I love competing at Skunkworks. They're great people. They put on an amazing, exciting event. None of the matches are boring. So yeah, jump on YouTube, give them a like and subscribe. She's also got a bunch of other super fights coming up that we'll talk about later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to plug my own thing. I do have my leg lock instructional getting put together. I'm putting the finishing touches on it. It's starting to look good, and that will be free on YouTube. Sweet. It's just my thanks to the community for supporting me on there, and hopefully y'all like it. And yeah, other than that, if you need any hats or clothing, check out Defending Awesome, because they saved my ass for the fight shirts. I needed like walkout fight shirts, and my other ones didn't come in. I was like, hey, Defending Awesome, I know I do this all the time, but I need something in a week. And they're like, really? And I was like, please? And they're like, yeah, we'll get it done. So yeah, go out, support local. Defending Awesome, they're out of Banff. Amazing crew. Made this hat. I can't say enough good things about it.
It turns out that like if you ask them, they actually think you're extorting them. Because you're like, hey, I know it's only 2 days away, but me and my friends need a couple of shirts.
Yeah. Come on.
And they're like, oh, I don't know, he knows karate or something. Yeah. Let's do it.
He knows that Mexican ground karate stuff.
We have to do it. What's he gonna do to us if we don't?
Jim's like, oh, this guy. But yeah, other than that, I think that we're pretty good.
I do want to say one other thing. Just again, Jonah, we're proud of you, buddy.
Oh yeah, man. I'm so proud of him. He's growing so much.
Yeah.
What a beautiful human being.
Yeah.
I can't wait for him to go get back into a cage and let loose. Like his hands are so good. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Can't wait.
Other than that, catch you on the flip side.
And thanks for listening.
Perfect.